Hi, Jim St. John, Newport, Arkansas here again. This is not as much a music video as it is a story about a song that was written by a friend of mine, the legendary Sonny Burgess, the Rockabilly Sonny Burgess from right here in Newport. And I'll just let you hear a stretch of that song. I understand it was a pretty big hit in Europe. So that's a stretch of by Hokie Doodle. And Son wrote that song after I told him a story about when I first started playing music with a bunch of guys. I was a teenager playing with comparatively old men. The oldest was in his mid-40s, and next was in his mid-30s, and there I was like 18 maybe at the time, or 19. And we played a lot of old country and bluegrass stuff. J.C. Reynolds, our mandolin player, needed a new mandolin. He had one similar to this old harmony that I've got here that I still play from time to time. I have another mandolin, but this was still pretty good instrument. But his was coming unglued. He really knew how to play one. His was coming unglued on him, and we needed to find him a decent mandolin. The lead singer and guitar picker, rhythm guitar guy, was Otis Gilmore. He said, well, I know an old gentleman up at Sulphur Rock, Arkansas. It's up about 25 miles northwest of here in Independence County. He said it's got a mandolin. Said, I don't know if it's for sale or anything about it. He said, well, ask him. He said, no, we'll do better than that. Tomorrow night we'll just go up to his house and invite ourselves in to play. That's common practice in Arkansas, especially back 40-something years ago. But anyway, we went up there the next night. Mr. Gilmore knocked on the door, and this old gentleman came to the door. His name was Claude Simpson. Still remember that very well. He said, hey, Claude, we come to play you some music. He said, oh, by Hokie Doodle, just come right in. So we went in. We got in there and talked a few minutes, exchanged pleasantries, and J.C. and I had never met the guy. Otis Gilmore knew him. But J.C. said, Mr. Simpson, I understand you got a mandolin you might want to sell. He scratched that head. He said, oh, by Hokie Doodle, said, I've got one, but I don't know if she's for sale or not. J.C. said, well, could I look at it? And he said, why, sure. And he went to the back bedroom and drug out the old beat-up cardboard type case and opened it up. It was one of the most beautiful little Martin mandolins I'd ever seen. It was natural walnut finish, had a little oval sound hole in it, and it was so finely made that you couldn't even tell where the neck and everything joined together. It looked like it was just a solid piece. It was beautiful. It had 3 old rusty strings left on it. J.C. said, well, Mr. Simpson, do you care if I string it up and play it a little bit? Oh, by Hokie Doodle. He said, go right ahead and help yourself. So he reached in his pocket, got a brand new set of strings out, strung that sucker up. We sat there and played several tunes, and then they invited us for a cup of coffee and some cookies, which we accepted. And while we're taking our break, J.C. said, well, Mr. Simpson, do you want to sell this mandolin? I'd kind of like to have it. He said, oh, by Hokie Doodle, I don't know. And his wife was standing over in the kitchen door, motioning for Mr. Simpson to come back. He said, I got to go talk to the missus. He came back. He said, well, I reckon we'll sell her. He said, you might not want it. He said, I bought that thing in 1917, the day before I shipped out for the first big war. And said, I can still remember what I paid for it. It was $17 because it was in 1917. Now, can you imagine? That was a pretty good chunk of money back in 1917. But he said, I guess we'd sell it, but we'd have to have 15 for it. JC almost tore his hip pocket off getting his wallet out. Shelled him out $15. We played a few more tunes and left, and all the way home we kidded him about, boy, didn't you even want to offer him, tell him you didn't need any change back for that 20 you sat there waiting for the $5. He said, look, the man said he wanted $15, and that's what I gave him. So that was one of the biggest bargains in history, and I see some of those on eBay now, but surprisingly they don't sell for all that much. I've seen a couple that go for $450 or $500, whereas Gibson F5 mandolins, my gosh, even the A-line mandolins, I saw a 40-something model A-line, which that's A-line style, went for $3,500. But that was the story behind this By Hokie Doodle that Sonny Burgess wrote and made a hit song out of. Thank you.